Welcome back to my channel, the best place for people who are moving to, moving in, and moving out of Austin, Texas. I'm Tiffany Moore. I'm a realtor with North Star Realty Professionals in Austin, Texas. And today we are going to talk about Austin's 5 hottest neighborhoods. Hot in that they are some of Austin's most iconic neighborhoods, and they're also the ones that people are searching most for when they're searching for pockets to live in Austin. We're going to see these 5 neighborhoods today: Allandale, North Loop, Cherrywood, Old West, and Zilker. So we're gonna go really high level and take a peek at what the homes look like, how expensive the neighborhoods are, restaurants, parks, things like that. And then over the next few weeks, I'm gonna release some really in-depth videos for each neighborhood so you can really get a feel for what's going on there, who lives there, what do they like about it, all that good stuff. So make sure you stick around till the end. We're gonna talk about what neighborhood is best for singles, for families, most expensive, and the most affordable neighborhoods out of those 5. First neighborhood that we're diving into is Allandale. So let's check out Allandale on the map. Here is Allandale. It's bordered on the west by Mopac on 45th Street and then all the way up Burnett, and then the north border is Anderson Lane. Burnett is the lifeline of this neighborhood. There's lots of local, independently owned shops, restaurants, bars, coffee shops. It's kind of got a sense of older Austin. It's a really cool spot, and they've really done a lot to kind of keep that retro-y Austin feel. Even though a lot of shops and restaurants and things like that are definitely updated, it still has a small town vibe. The general style of homes in Allandale is ranch style. You have a few mid-century style homes, but typically they're going to be bigger lots, one story. It's an older neighborhood, so lots of trees everywhere. Austin is super green. And let's take a look at some of these homes. There's a pretty wide range for home sales in Allandale, and the reason for that is it's such an old neighborhood. It's in the process of being updated, but that's happening home by home. So you have some homes who still have, original cabinets and floors from the 50s or the 60s, and some homes where those have been totally gutted, updated from the inside out. Some are kind of in the middle. And there's a recent trend in Austin where some of the homes are just being torn down altogether and building brand new homes in that lot, sometimes 1 or 2 homes on the same lot. So I mentioned that the lots are pretty big. There's definitely enough space for 2 two-story homes. So you're building up instead of building out. You see that trend a lot in Allandale and in a few other neighborhoods that we're going to look at today. The average sold price for the last 90 days in Allandale is $707,000. The second neighborhood that we're going to check out is North Loop. So it's very close to Allandale. It's a little bit further east. Let's check it out on the map. So here is Allandale, the neighborhood that we were just talking about, and just east, this is North Loop. North Loop is bordered by the east by I-35 and on the west by Lamar. I like to think of it really as Airport and 51st as quintessential North Loop location. North Loop is less walkable than Allandale, except for the far west area of North Loop where it's butting up against Lamar. For the rest of the neighborhood, it's pretty spread out as far as restaurants, bars, things to do, and just less friendly to walkers. Homes in North Loop are pretty comparable to homes in Allandale. It's a little bit of an older neighborhood, and the homes are a little bit smaller. So the average price for the last 90 days was $526,000 for home sales, and the price per square foot was actually smaller as well. So even though the homes are smaller, they're still selling for less when you compare by size. The third neighborhood we're going to talk about today is Cherrywood, so let's check that out on the map. So you can see here's the Allandale neighborhood. Just to the east is North Loop. Now we're going a little bit south and east of I-35. This is Cherrywood. So it's just on the east side of 35, and it's bordered by Airport and Manor Road. It's technically on the east side of 35, which separates the east and west side of Austin, but it's just over the edge, so I like to call this area East Light. This neighborhood is known for having a really eclectic style. It's very community focused and art centric. The homes are a little bit smaller and look a little bit more cottagey. The average home price for the last 90 days was $583,000, which is lower than Allandale, but more than North Loop that we just talked about. So there hasn't really been a whole lot of the tearing down and rebuilding in this area just yet. The folks who live here really like to keep the tight-knit, kind of cottagey community vibe. There's a lot of parks in this area. Most of them are community parks. And just to the east, you've got this really cool development called Miller. Looks like Mueller, it said Miller. They've got just huge parks, lots of cool shops and restaurants and places to hang out. That's a very walkable area. Cherrywood is pretty small and it's mostly the homes in the neighborhood. You can walk to shops along Manor. That's a pretty walkable, friendly area. On Airport, it's just heavier traffic and not so friendly to walk along, but definitely good to walk to restaurants, bars, all that stuff on Manor, which is really close to the UT campus as well. As far as schools go, Cherrywood shares the same high school with Allandale and North Loop. That's McCallum High School. The elementary school is Maplewood, and it's perfect for this neighborhood. It's a really cool school that incorporates art into all of its classes, which is great because Cherrywood is such a cool artist and art-centric pocket of Austin. The fourth neighborhood that we're going to check out today is called Old West. So if you can imagine, it's a little bit further west from Cherrywood. So let's check that out. So you can see on the map that Old West is bordered on the west by Mopac, and on the north, 38th Street, on the south, Enfield, and then on the east, the border is Lamar. This neighborhood is a little bit further south than Allandale. It's much closer to downtown, and it's actually a historic district. The entire neighborhood is the largest historic district in Texas. The style of homes in Old West is definitely distinct from what we've seen in Allandale, North Loop, and Cherrywood. So they're not going to be your ranch style homes that we've seen already. They're going to be more like homes with columns and large yards and just much more stately homes. In the last 90 days, the average sales price in Old West is $1.24 million. So a huge hike up from Allandale, which was in the low sevens, and North Loop and Cherrywood, which were kind of in the mid to high fives. $1.24 million is definitely a huge jump from those areas. What's it like to live in Old West? Why are we paying $1.24 million for homes here? One, the area is gorgeous, so the homes are beautiful. There's a ton of outdoor space and parks. One of the biggest trails is Shoal Creek Trail, and it runs all the way from the north border of 38th Street all the way down to Lady Bird Lake downtown. The actual neighborhood of Old West is mostly residential. There's not a lot of commercial activity in there, restaurants, shops, bars, things like that. Just on the outskirts, you'll find some iconic Austin places for barbecue, ice cream, sushi, French cuisine, all kinds of delicious food is just outside of this Old West neighborhood. There's 2 elementary schools in this pocket of Austin. They're rated an 8 and a 9 from greatschools.org, and the middle school and high school are rated 6 out of 10. The 5th neighborhood that we're going to talk about today is Zilker. Let's check it out on the map. So Zilker starts just south of the river. It borders on the east side along Lamar, and it goes all the way down to Light Sea Road and way back up north on AZ Morton. It's AZ Morton in one part and Rab on another part. It's a pretty big district, and I compare its layout to Allandale. So if you remember Allandale, we had Burnett bordering it to the east where all the cool shops and restaurants were. That's kind of how Lamar is for Zilker. So Lamar borders it to the east, and that's where you're going to get a lot of awesome barbecue, local shops, restaurants, and things like that. It's hard to say what the style of homes is in Zilker. A lot of the homes are ranch style homes like we saw in Allandale and North Loop, but then you'll turn the corner and come across this massive home whose architecture is completely unique that you're not going to see anywhere else in town. It's just a very eclectic neighborhood. For the last 90 days, the average sale price in Zilker was $1.1 million, which is less than Old West, but again, much higher than the other neighborhoods that we checked out. What is there to do in Zilker? There's so much green space and outdoor space here. You've got Barton Springs Pool, you've got a bunch of parks and sculpture gardens. Just a great place to live if being outdoors and having a more relaxed vibe is what you're looking for. It's also very walkable. There's lots of bars and restaurants along Lamar, like we talked about, it being similar to Burnett in that respect. The elementary school in Zilker is rated 7 out of 10, and the middle and high schools are rated 6 out of 10. So those are the 5 hottest neighborhoods in Austin. Now we're going to talk about some of the best things about these neighborhoods. Which neighborhood is best for singles? Cherrywood is the best neighborhood for singles. Like 60% of the population is single, as in never married, and it's got a much higher population density than general Austin. So you've got a bunch of single people, they're all packed in there together. It's not gonna take you long to meet your neighbors, build a community, and find some cool people to hang out with. Best neighborhood for families, Allandale. One, it's affordability. It's about 700 versus 1.1 million. And two, it's got the best schools from the 5 neighborhoods that we talked about. Both the elementary schools are rated a 10 out of 10, and the middle and high schools are rated 6 and 7 out of 10. Most affordable neighborhood was North Loop. The average sale price was $526,000, and the most expensive was Old West Austin, $1.24 million. In the next few weeks, we're gonna dive deep into each of these neighborhoods. So next week, we're releasing our in-depth video on Allandale, and after that, it's gonna be North Loop. I hope you found this video valuable and you have a better idea of why people are moving into some of the hottest neighborhoods in Austin. While you're waiting for the next video to come out, check out these videos right here. They're all about starting your journey, how to figure out if moving is even right for you, and how to save time and money while you're searching for your dream home. I post a lot of videos about what it's like to live in Austin, move here, buy a home here, sell a home here. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and like this video, subscribe it so you're notified every time we put up a new one. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day and that you're loving your life. I'll see you in the next video.